From the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 22 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I know one of the things you tell us all the time in the feedback is that you love when we talk to authors that have a book that is fun, especially if it's for young readers. Tracey Hecht has a book. It's a whole series of books called The Nocturnals. I put the cover of one of them on the podcast. This one is The Hidden Kingdom, but there are 15 books, I think, to this series. Tracey is the founder of Fabled Films. She's a writer, an entrepreneur, a director, a producer, and she wants to tell you to read out loud to the kids. The Nocturnals is what we're focusing on right now, and of course that one mission statement to read out loud. I used to love doing that when my son was little, and I know you did the same thing, Robin. Good morning, Tracey.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're good. Where are you calling from?
I'm in New York.
How far back did you start writing this series?
Let's see. I started writing it in about, I think, 2011. And I started writing it because I had been writing for TV and film, and I have 4 kids, and I had watched the progression of the way kids spent their free time move from, more, I would say, analog-based entertainment to more digital-based entertainment.
Right, right.
And so I wanted to write a story and a series of books that sort of spoke to that transition and had, a much more dialogue-based narrative, much more like adventure action, so that you almost felt like you were watching it when you were reading it. Because look, technology is here to stay, but reading is so valuable, and so I just tried to emulate the vernacular a little bit.
You actually answered a question already. The question was going to be, since you are involved in the visual media, do you write visually? And it sounds like that's exactly what you do.
Yeah, look, every writer does a lot of research, and you have to obviously explain and describe a lot. But one of the things about writing this series is that I really think that it should almost play in front of you as you're reading it, because that's the point of it. I really believe in read aloud. I believe in sharing content from books in the way we share content from TV and YouTube videos and film. And so it was a real focus for me to have that sort of experience while I was writing and while you were reading.
And you also enable children to use their imaginations, because you never know what is going to spark a child's interest, and they're going to become a writer or a playwright or a filmmaker.
Yeah, it's one of the most fun things about this series is that, I focus a ton of my writing on research, and I study all of these, YouTube videos of animals and the nighttime realm, flora and fauna, and from all of that, the physiologies of these animals and this world, I really inform the narrative of the fiction, which is really fun in terms of like when we have a reading writing program that we do nationwide that we develop with the New York Public Library and then rolled out. And it's really fun because kids can engage in it. They can go back and look at nocturnal videos of animals and come up with their own characters and write their own vignettes, and they send them to me, and they're amazing.
I'm wondering how many kids are inspired to become animal people, like veterinarians, etc. Just because you're focusing on in the Central Park Zoo. We went back in Thanksgiving, right? Mm-hmm. They had a little section that was just for nocturnals.
Yeah, they do. It's really fun. And a lot of these animals are actually in zoos nationwide. Some of them are getting a lot of attention for being endangered, which, when I first started researching these animals, I had no idea how much fun I would have literally studying the nocturnal world of, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, etc. It really kind of does give you, your storylines or your environments for your storylines.
And you're encouraging parents to read to and with their children, have their children read out loud to them instead of placing the child in front of a computer where the computer reads back to you.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Look, all of the research is in that reading aloud is really beneficial. It's beneficial in early stages. It's really beneficial as kids grow up because it allows them to engage in aspirational text and vocabulary. It influences everything from math scores to literacy. So it's really a good thing. And the trick is that a lot of schools, in particular public schools, have a much higher demand on what their curriculums are. And so this reading aloud, we should augment outside of schools too, and doing it with family, or even, I know this sounds crazy, but we do these animated videos so that we can engage kids in the text, and then they read it to each other because they kind of want to see where the story keeps going.
Oh, nice.
Which has been really fun to see. And we do it, we do a lot of programming in libraries and independent bookstores and in schools, which helps a lot, especially because I do a lot of it. Kids are so comfortable talking to technology, and I beam in, on FaceTime or on Skype up on, projectors in the auditorium for the whole school and lead these programs in a way that really helps, I think, engage kids in that kind of read aloud around the Nocturnals too.
So do you watch when you put the video? The website together with the videos? Is it kind of like like I just went to the website. Wow, it's a nice looking website. So how do you encourage from the website? Because I'd be stuck on the website if I was a kid. So does the website?
I know. Well, that's the trick, right? No, the website is really for everyone. So there's a section for teachers to basically pull down curriculum-based material, STEM, and all sorts of things they can use in the classroom. There's things for libraries. There's things for bookstores to do events, and then for kids there is content. But at the end of the day, you're going to run out of those videos, and the hope is that you are engaged enough with these sort of wacky characters that you pick up the book and read more. Which, look, I mean, I really do think content can exist across platform, and I'm not, I don't think there should be no technology. I just think books should play a really big role.
And do you do all the animation of the characters yourself, or do you have animators to do that?
It's really funny. When you introduced me and you said all the things I did, I thought, I don't actually do all that. But I definitely do not do the animation or the illustration or all of the publishing house stuff. But I have an amazing team who does.
You are fun.
Yeah,
Gosh,
you are.
fun.
You are made to do this kind of work. I just. How old are your children?
They range. They're in their 20s all the way down to 10.
Oh my gosh, 20s.
Wow.
Okay, so is the 10-year-old reading aloud to you now?
Well, look, he's cursed with the mom who loves read aloud, but I think he loves it too. and in fairness, it's kind of irresistible. I tell people this all the time. If you pick up a book and start to read it out loud, whether it's to your partner, a colleague, your child, a friend, you realize how much fun it is and how great it is. So, yes, we do a lot of read aloud in the family, but only because I think at this point, we all love it.
I found the series of books on Amazon. I know your website is outstanding. It's nocturnalsworld.com. I have a copy of one of the books, the one titled The Hidden Kingdom. Call me if you'd like the one that was sent to us. I like the fact that it's illustrated, but not in the way children's books normally are. It's like interspersed, like little illustrations throughout the book. It's just really delightful that way.
I love the artwork. The illustrator, I think the illustrations are more art than they are like sort of pictures, what you're used to as a child. And it was one of the most important things when we did the book is that, having a book is special, and it should still feel special, and it should be beautiful. So, having imagery throughout, even though you're at chapter book level, it is still like really rewarding and fun.
It's great for young readers. It's wonderful.
Very, very nice. We have a really good library system in our county, and I'm sure that if they don't have it already, I'm sure they'll get it now that they're listening to it. Tracey, thank you, Tracey, for being on the show with us today.
Oh, I had such a nice time. Thank you for having me.
That was fun. All right, we will take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Bye-bye.